Multitasking. Okay, so I don't need to plug it in right now. Okay. All right, so we're setting up right now. Yeah. Still, we probably should have finished it before we started. Totally. But I couldn't get over the fact my elbow is sitting next to you. Okay. And your dog was licking it for like a while. And then it came into my head that if I didn't know that dog was there, I would have thought that was like your erection poking me in the elbow because it was like cold and wet, and it just like it was over your lap. So for a while, I was just like, it got weird because I was like, Adam's dick is touching my arm. It wasn't. It clearly wasn't.
No,
but
it definitely wasn't.
I couldn't get that out of my head after I thought it.
That was what was so important.
I wanted to tell you, but I wanted everyone else to know too. So
wow. Well, thanks for that. I'm glad that you started that while I'm still ill-prepared for the whole thing. All right. My dog won't lick your elbow anymore. He's laying down.
Okay, well, we can talk about some other things while you're getting prepared.
Yes, please do. You said you had some things to talk about this
Yeah, a few things.
Did you actually make notes, or are you just winging it still?
No, I'm still winging it. I got it all in my head. It all happened pretty recently.
Okay.
So I remember, because we recorded those last 3 podcasts all together, so there's going to be some weird like delays here, and all this stuff has already happened. But I may have talked about this in one of those. I didn't. I don't know exactly yet, but I did make contact with Samuel L. Jackson. I made the attempt. I messaged him today. Okay. And just asked, do you want to go get a beer or something? I'm going to be here for like a week. He hasn't messaged me back yet. I don't know if you've seen it. But I did put it out there.
That's exciting.
Yes.
That's very exciting.
And secondly, I've mentioned before how I hate living with my family, my mom, not my mom, my dad and my sister, and my brother, because they're all so annoying. Especially my dad. Like, it's not like I have a bad relationship with any of them. I just don't like living with them. Okay. So I think, and this is really weird, I think I'm going to go live with my mom for these next 10 days.
Wow.
Which...
That is really weird.
It's the first time I've ever done that since I've been 16. I actually spent the night at her place last night.
Really?
Yeah.
Just because you were annoyed, or...?
I was out, and I said I was going to come over because I needed to pick up some things anyway, and I ended up just staying there and talking to her. Mm-hmm. She's a really lonely lady. Like, yeah.
Is she still with that internet guy?
No. Yeah, there's all sorts of court proceedings and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, it's bad, whatever. But I figured, I guess the same thing with Samuel L. Jackson. I'm leaving. I might never come back. I might as well, I don't know, make amends, I guess. Since those were the 2 closest people in my life that I just, immediately cut out both of them.
Sure.
So, so I guess I'm doing something. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm preparing to leave. It's like I'm preparing to die.
Really.
It's like I have a terminal illness and I know I'm going away and not coming back.
That's ridiculous. And your mom's like cool with you, just like,
dude, she fucking loves it. Oh my god, she's wanted this for years. Yeah. Especially because she lives in this house by herself. No one ever comes, and visits her or anything because we're all doing our own thing now.
She's not at the old place, is she? Like where you used to
I grew up?
Yeah.
No, that house is foreclosed on. Oh. I actually drove by it the other day. And looked in it and stuff, and the walls are all knocked out and stuff. I don't know if they're trying to revamp it because it got shitty in those last few years. Okay. I don't know if I've ever told this, but she started renting it out to tenants. Okay. And this is around the time I left. There was one dude who was fucking huge. I do not exaggerate when I say maybe 400 or 500 pounds. Couldn't even fit through the doors. We had a small bathroom. He took up the entire bathroom. He couldn't piss right, I guess, because he either couldn't fit on the toilet or he couldn't see his dick or something. Because the entire bathroom was constantly covered in urine. Okay. He didn't even really have a room. We just blocked off the family room and made that his bedroom. He absolutely destroyed it. It was just filthy with rot and food, and he was just a big fat dude. Okay. Samuel Jackson always referred to him as the Beast. Okay. So, yeah, that happened, and that, just a lot of stuff like that fucked up the house. There was she also rented it out to this gay clubber, the basement where I used to live. She rented that out to that guy. That didn't go out too well. I guess he'd always smoke weed and stuff in the house, and my sister got all upset about that. There's a lot of weird tenants. There was a kindergarten teacher who was gonna call the police because of just weird shit going on. So after I moved out, things got weird, which is why I didn't want to move out in the first place, because I knew things were gonna get weird. Yeah, but. Yeah, so the house, I guess they're trying to revamp it to sell it to somebody and make it at least partially salvageable.
So you really think that there's no chance that you'll come back here for anything in
I'm
the
not
future?
saying there's no chance.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying there's a good possibility, or not even a good possibility, but there is a possibility I might not, I'll be graduated, I'll be, I might even have a job down there at the end of the summer, so it's not outside the realm of possibility that I might just go down to DC and that's where I'm going to live for a couple years,
Yeah.
So, I'm not planning on coming back. I'm not necessarily planning on staying there either, but I would like to. I do want to get out of Ohio. So
yeah. Oh.
Hopefully that goes well.
It's so strange. You're an adult now. You
think
about that sort of thing?
I have a diploma.
Yeah.
Like, I have, like, a little thing that says we're going to mail you. Like, I don't have it. But
yeah.
I received the thing. Like, I did the walking ceremony. And it says, they're going to mail it in 45 days or whatever. For me, I don't think it'll be till the end of the summer. But still, I have the thing that it goes in.
You didn't attend, like, a graduation ceremony?
No, I did.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't going to at all, but the people in my classes convinced me.
Really?
They more or less made me, so.
How come? Like, what did they say that convinced
They're all
you?
girls, and they're just all like, yeah, you can't do it, and then, they would be shrill at me, and I just can't handle that, like, that pitch. There's something in that pitch that will make me do whatever just to make it stop, so I eventually agreed, and it was not worth it.
Yeah.
It was, the same thing as high school graduation. Didn't know anyone there either. So, but I did it, and it's weird. Because I think out of our grade, I might be the first one who's actually graduated with a 4-year degree.
You know what? I think actually that someone that we had on the old podcast did.
Really?
As well. Andrew. He's graduated as well.
Did he? How did he do that?
I don't know. But he is graduated now. He's done with school.
Oh, cool. What's he doing?
He has a couple offers. He said he has offers to run social media type things for like movie related, independent movie companies and things like that. He had a degree for movies. I don't know what.
Yeah, I think he had like a film degree.
Film major. He went to OU. Yeah.
So is that like out of state or in state or?
I don't really know. He hasn't taken any of the jobs. He doesn't know yet which one he's going to take.
Well, that's good.
All right. I've been a little. My energy has been divided a little bit here because Mitch just had to tell us that riveting thing about my dog licking his elbow. I was trying to prepare something because I've got a game to bring to the podcast today. Idea. I think the games are fun, right? And they're fun to listen to, and why not make it into something that, I care about and Mitch doesn't really care about. I want to be in the know in this game. I want to be the one who's right. So my game is about superheroes, comic book characters. I'm going to name 3 comic book characters, Mitch. Only two of them are real. One of them is completely made up by me. Okay?
Okay.
Now, you can ask me questions. I'll answer them to the best of my ability. As much as I love comics, as much as I know about comics, I don't know everything about every character and everything.
All right.
But you can try to trick me into,
Yeah.
into maybe giving you a little tell.
Use my
use your intellect. Yeah. Use your intellect. Okay, now this first one, how do you want me to do this? You want me to just list all 3? Or do you want me to give a little bit about each character?
List all 3, and then if I ask for elaborations.
Okay.
Or give list 1, and then like a 1 line of what they are, and then do it like that.
All right. The first character is Silver Scythe. That's Silver Scythe. He's a Marvel character. His real name is Samuel Rodriguez, and essentially he's just a guy, kind of like a samurai, but with armor. It's all armor, and he carries obviously a massive silver scythe.
All right.
Not much to it. Squirrel Girl. Her real name's Doreen Green. She's also a Marvel Comics character, and her power is essentially that she can communicate with squirrels. She was a part of the Great Lakes Avengers for a little while. And the last character is Purple Man, and his name is Zebediah Kilgrave, and he can use mind control powers. He's also a Marvel Comics character.
Okay.
So 3 Marvel Comics characters: the Silver Scythe, the Squirrel Girl, or the Purple Man.
Okay.
Which, do you have questions for me?
No, I'm trying to think.
Okay.
I'm going to go out on a limb here, and if I'm wrong about this, I'm going to sound like a complete idiot because I'm so confident that I'm right. That Squirrel Girl is a real character. I'm almost positive she is.
Okay.
I don't know where, I don't know why, but it sounds so familiar to me.
Okay.
So there's Silver Scythe, and what's the other one?
Purple Man.
I'm leaning towards Purple Man not being real, so I'm gonna go ahead and say Purple Man.
Purple Man is real.
Wow.
Silver Scythe is the made-up character there.
Damn.
Purple Man is Zebediah Killgrave. He has mind control powers. He's a big pain in the ass to Luke Cage, a.k.a. Power Man.
Purple.
And his wife, Jessica Jones, and their child. Yep, Purple Man. And he essentially looks like a guy who's purple. He's a pretty harsh villain. In recent years, they've made him really crazy. Squirrel Girl is also real. Everything I said was real about her. She was a part of the Great Lakes Avengers. And yeah, she's a girl. She's got a big bushy squirrel tail. And right now, she is the nanny for actually Luke Cage and Jessica Jones at the Avengers Mansion. She just looks after a kid. Okay. Great. You ready for round 2?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Really discouraged.
Maybe you can redeem yourself here.
I was feeling really good that I knew who Squirrel Girl was.
Yeah, that was good, because I tried to pick 2 that were like so lame that it'd distract you. Okay, Lobster Johnson. This guy, he's a Dark Horse character, carries around a gun. A lot of the times he just goes by the name The Lobster. The next character is the Ultramarine, and this is also a Marvel Comics character. He was a guy who underwent the same type of super soldier program and underwent the same super soldier serum injections as Steve Rogers, Captain America, and a few other people. They don't know who this guy is, though. He just goes under the name of Unknown Soldier as far as the secret identity. And the last one is Radioactive Man, and his name is Chen Lu, or at least one incarnation of him is named Chen Lu. And essentially, he's a radioactive man, Mitch. He has radioactive powers. He can distribute that radioactive energy out.
So what kind of questions am I allowed to ask?
I mean, you can ask me any. I'll shoot them down if I don't think that they're good.
So if I were to ask you how Radioactive Man became radioactive.
Mm-hmm. Well, I believe it was testing of the Chinese government. Chen Lu is of Chinese descent. And again, I don't know everything about comics, so I believe it was testing from the Chinese government, nuclear testing, and it gave him radioactive powers.
Okay. All right. That's what happened to the Hulk, right?
Not really.
Damn. Okay.
He was a scientist, and I guess gamma radiation gave it to him.
So we've got Radioactive Man, we've got
the Ultramarine, and Lobster Johnson.
And Lobster Johnson. What's Lobster Johnson again?
Lobster Johnson's a Dark Horse character. He carries around a gun. He goes by the name of the Lobster a lot of the time.
Why is he called Lobster Johnson?
You know what? This is where my comic book knowledge kind of fails me. I haven't read a whole lot of Lobster Johnson before.
So is he even like remotely like a lobster? Like he at least red? Or...
No. Nope. He's a guy. He has a lobster on his chest, like a emblem.
He's got a lobster emblem and he carries a gun.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then the second one is
the Ultramarine.
Mm-hmm. An Ultramarine is in the same universe as Captain America. And
Yeah,
the same program.
Yeah, pretty much. He was a rogue one though. He kind of went off on his own. So we got Lobster Johnson.
All right. I'm gonna go with Radioactive Man as not being real.
The Ultramarine is not real.
Damn it, dude.
Radioactive Man is real. He was rumored actually to be making a cameo in Iron Man 3, but it didn't happen. Lobster Johnson is a teammate of Hellboy on the Bureau of Paranormal Research.
See, when I was asking you a question, you sounded like you were making stuff up for Radioactive Man, even though you didn't know about Lobster Johnson.
I said, I just
sounded genuine.
I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about Radioactive Man.
All right.
Hey man, you win some, you lose some.
Yeah, well, I'm losing all of them.
All right, hey, come on.
I take this kind of stuff really hard.
All right, here's your third.
All these tests about things I don't know about.
It's okay. It's all right. This literally means nothing. If that makes you feel better.
Yeah, to you maybe.
And it makes me look bad that I do know this stuff and that I had 3 minutes to come up with this and did it. Okay.
Brag about it.
Okay. Third round. D-Man. This guy's name is Dennis Dunphy.
All right.
And he's skilled with acrobatics. He has like resistance to like injury. He's strong. And then he looks kind of like a Wolverine mixed with Daredevil, like Daredevil's old costume and Wolverine's old costume. The next one is Anti-Venom, and he's like Venom, but instead of black and white, he's white and black, and he can like absorb things.
No way that's real. Keep going.
And then Poison Oak, and his name's Dr. Hammond Hector, and he controls plant life, kind of like Poison Ivy.
Okay.
It's like a male version of it.
So Poison Oak, Anti-Venom,
and D-Man.
D-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
This game's fun.
See, I feel they wouldn't do that with Anti-Venom. Who's the red villain in Spider-Man? Like
Carnage.
Carnage, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel if they had Venom and Carnage, they wouldn't do something dumb like that.
So D-Man, Anti-Venom, and Poison Oak.
And Poison Oak.
Mm-hmm.
Is Poison Oak in Batman comics?
He has made appearances in Batman comics, yeah. He's a part of the DC universe. The other two are Marvel characters, D-Man and Anti-Venom. Poison Oak was actually created under the same circumstances as Poison Ivy. They were both kind of experiments of Dr. Jason Woodrow.
But at different times or the same time?
No, different times. Woodrow was trying to recreate Poison Ivy and Poison Oak. It's a guy, though.
All right, I'm going to go with Anti-Venom. It was the first one that jumped out at me, I got to say.
Poison Oak was a fake one.
Fuck, that was so good, though! That was so good!
Yeah.
Oh, man!
Yeah.
That was impressive.
Anti-Venom is actually the original Venom, Eddie Brock. And he does look just like regular Venom, but just reverse colors. Actually, it's interesting that you said the thing about they wouldn't do that sort of thing. There is more than one symbiote out there. Like, there's more than just Carnage and Venom. There's Anti-Venom.
I don't know, man.
Shriek. There were a whole bunch in the 90s when those kind of characters were big, but yeah, there's a
Is
whole
that
bunch
it?
out
You only
there.
had 3?
Toxin.
Damn it. Oh, I mean,
that was 3 rounds of it. Yeah. Well, if I had longer, I could have prepared more.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm really disappointed.
Really?
Yeah.
I figured it would go something like that.
Yeah. Well, God,
comics are so weird. Though,
it was between Anti-Venom and Poison Oak. You just seem so sure of yourself.
Oh, I know. I felt like I really had to.
You slipped up because you paused right when I said it's in the Batman comics, and it's like you didn't know what to say for like a split second, but then you did it, and I was just like,
Yeah.
All right. Well, I knew who Squirrel Girl was. I guess that's my claim.
Yeah. That's good. That's real good. Hindsight's always 20/20. Maybe you can make a game that'll stop.
Yeah.
You could do laws or something.
Yeah, that'll be so interesting.
Like weird laws or something.
That'll be so interesting.
Hey, come on.
I don't
come
know.
on, champ.
I don't know nearly enough about laws as you know about comic books.
Well, you could just look them up or something.
Not even true.
Hey, come on.
I could maybe do dinosaurs.
There you go. I don't really know dinosaurs. Hey.
Yeah.
The sun will come out.
Shut up.
Tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow.
That was from a skit, too.
There'll be sun. Did we put that in the skit?
Yeah, we definitely put that in the skit.
Okay.
You sang it just like that, too.
Did I?
Yeah.
It's just
I think
a thing
so.
I do.
I remember it.
It's just a thing I do.
Apparently.
I don't know if I do it in skits or not. So I did something the other day that was pretty crazy.
All right.
Drove down to Kent, visited our old friend Elliot.
You know, in one of the podcasts,
Yeah.
I think it was the first one we put up that we've been back.
Yeah.
I said something about a party at my house.
Oh, yeah.
And you said, and you're like, oh, I'm having people over to my house. Elliot's gonna be there.
Yeah.
And for some reason, that was like your selling point.
Yeah.
And I reacted like, well, then I'm gonna have to come over.
You did.
I don't know why I was so excited about that.
Elliot's
I don't know Elliot that well. Like,
Elliot's fun.
I was in a class with him and we had a good time, but that was it.
That's all you need.
I don't know why I was so excited to see Elliot.
He's blessed.
But yeah, go on.
I drove down to see our very good mutual friend, Elliot. And he had his friend, Armac, there. You know
I believe I know who that is.
Yeah. And then we got very drunk. And we were like, you know what, dude? We've always heard about how Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon and The Wizard of Oz sync up. Let's do it.
I've done this.
Dark Side of the Rainbow. That's what they call it. There's a couple names out there for it, but Dark Side of the Rainbow is the coolest. You've done it before?
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's cool.
Pretty crazy.
What really sold me is when the witch has the broom and she starts playing it like the bass. I was like, they did that on fucking purpose. There's no way you can do that.
You know, there was some crazy stuff like that. I think that the way the lyrics matched up at certain times, it was like Dorothy was just walking around and it was like, kicking around on a piece of ground on your hometown. And I was like, oh my god, this is insane.
Did you guys see the whole movie?
Yeah, we did the whole movie. It replays like
3
2.5
times.
times.
Yeah.
It's like, it doesn't get a full all the way through. but it was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And it's just like weird little circumstances and like big character movements go really well as though they were orchestrated by the music. Like the music gets louder sometimes when they do things.
A lot of times when they're jumping or running too, it's like to the beat.
Yeah,
like, it's really weird.
It something like that. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Because how could you even time?
Yeah. Even if you
were trying, how could you do something like that? And to have it work 2.5 times through, like one time through would be cool enough. But man, it was so weird. It's just one of those things, that you just try because you heard about it. You know, one of those weird little things. Are you a fan of like little urban legend sort of things like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that stuff.
Yeah, I'm always interested in that kind of stuff. That and like supernatural stuff.
Yeah.
Like ghosts and like Bigfoot, like cryptozoology sort of things, aliens. That kind of stuff fascinates me. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of stuff that I'll like look up on the internet or something.
Did I ever talk to you about my theory that aliens are just people from the future?
No. And if you did, let's talk about it again.
Oh.
So we can fill time.
Yeah, I've been telling people about this. Apparently, this is something I thought of it. Mm-hmm. Like on my own, but apparently it's something someone else already came up to, and they're like, oh, this guy. I'm just like, oh, I thought it was me.
Before.
Yeah, okay. But basically, I was reading articles about like alien life and stuff, and I had always been like, oh, sure, there's life out there, but I never really thought of the fact that like it might not be carbon based, and if it is carbon based, it still might not be something we even recognize as life. You know, like we don't look at like dirt and stuff and like inside it and recognize that there's life there. So maybe it's like the same thing. Maybe it's something we can't even grasp. Like it's not even solid, maybe. Or like, what are the chances it would look like a person? And all the sightings we see, they look like people. It's like the big head, the big eyes, the long fingers. Like, what are the chances that if there is life out there, it looks vaguely humanoid? And it's like, no, there's no way. There's no way that if there's life out there, it looks anything like us.
Yeah.
Unless it is us. So we always say that people always say that like if time travel was invented, we'd know about it because we'd be coming back in time or whatever. Well, maybe we wouldn't. Maybe we would just be going back and observing, like maybe we're on the History Channel, the Alien History Channel. Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe people millions of years in the future, if we survive that, if we escaped Earth and evolved so much, invented time travel. Now, when we feed visitors, they're coming back and just looking at stuff, you know. And when they abduct people, maybe they're just trying to see what ancient man was like, to see how they evolved to the state that they're in or something. I have no idea.
Boy, that's interesting.
Isn't that interesting?
That is really interesting.
Did you ever think of that?
No, I never thought of that.
You never heard of that?
And I've never heard of it either. And that would kind of make sense, too, because they said, or they've been saying, scientists have been speculating that within, like, the next couple hundred generations, we're all just going to morph. Like, color race isn't going to be a thing anymore because of how often we're kind of, like, crossing
the thing I'm thinking of is all the sightings are usually the same with the Greys. They're like 4.5 feet tall. They got big heads, really skinny bodies. And that kind of body type is really conducive to space living. Yeah. And if we're going to survive a whole lot longer as a species, we're going to have to leave Earth. And if we do leave Earth, our evolution is going to reflect that. The way that we survive. We're going to be more adapting to living in lesser gravity environments. And if that's what we're doing, we'd probably come out looking something like that. So
that does make a lot of sense. Yeah. Boy, that's interesting. That's really cool.
Which would also explain why they can breathe without
having
masks on, you know?
Huh. That's very interesting. Where do you think...
let me preface all this by saying, I don't believe any of it. Like, it's just an idea I had, and I'm just like, well, what if I'm right?
Right. That's cool. It's cool.
Yeah. I don't actually think that's happening, but... Maybe, I don't know a lot of shit. Like, no. This could all be real. It's an illusion. Maybe this is all a dream, and the dream is our real life. I don't fucking know.
Look, you already proved you don't know because I gave you 3 rounds of superheroes.
Fuck off, Adam.
Where do you think that we've found a planet that could eventually sustain us one day? Like, do you think Mars is...
I think Mars could. There's a couple moons on Jupiter, I think, that have, like, water and stuff. We've found planets solar systems away we can't get to now, but, in a while, who knows? Like, if we harness miniature stars like people are talking about, we could probably maybe do that shit. There's a lot of weird stuff in space. I can't remember what it is. I can't remember what the speed is. It's either 4 times the speed of sound that it's traveling, or four times the speed of light. I can't remember which one it is. I feel like it's sound though.
Okay.
But it's a huge object that we just noticed, and it's just fucking flying through space. We have no idea what it is. It's emitting radio waves and it's going really, really fast. Like just stuff like that's crazy to me. I'm just like, I don't know. I really like space.
Yeah,
like,
I do too.
And my mom lives in the middle of nowhere right now, and it's just so cool to just like look at the sky. Like,
so she's
like
not even like here.
Oh no. Yeah, she moved to Grafton. Yeah.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, and it's in the middle of nowhere, and so like I like going over there just like staring at the sky. Like it's the greatest thing ever. I really like space.
I love that sort of thing. I was in.
I wish I knew more about it. Like I wish I could do more with it. Yeah. But I'm a fucking idiot. I'm a stupid fucking person, and it sucks. I hate being stupid.
When I was in Tennessee, we were on a farm, big farmland, no lights anywhere around. It was the clearest I've ever seen the sky. I mean, I could see everything. It looked like my only comparison, and this is how sad that our world is right now. My only comparison was like, it's like I'm in the planetarium right now. I can see all these stars in the sky.
Yeah.
But when you were like younger and stuff, I mean, I know you probably did it in classes and stuff, but like, were you a big fan of like Bill Nye, the science guy?
Oh yeah. And I would always like do that thing where whenever plans for passing, I'd always take binoculars out and look at the sky and stuff. Like I like to see if I can see moons and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always tried to do that. I always tried the moon thing, or planets passing, but I never saw. Like, I guess I just wasn't doing it right or something.
Yeah,
I never saw it.
Yeah.
I recently saw Bill Nye speak. Actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he came to my school and did a little ditty. It was pretty awesome actually.
Really.
Talked about his whole
He's
life
a funny
story.
guy.
Yeah, he was funny. The parts though that were the most interesting to me. Okay, first thing that really jumped out at me. What do you imagine Bill Nye to be like in person, like from a physical standpoint? What do you imagine him to be?
Tall and thin.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. He's still thin, not tall. Maybe my height. And I thought back on that, and I was like, why did we think he was so tall?
I think all celebrities are taller than they really are, though.
Well, you think about it, his whole cast was little kids. That's so, like, of course he seemed towering over us back then. The other thing that really blew me away was there was a part at the end where you were allowed to go up and ask questions and stuff like that. And some people were asking, like, questions where I was like, oh, damn it, I wish I was smart enough to fully understand this. Like, people were asking about fracking and stuff like that. Alternate worlds. I was like, oh, my God. Yeah. And then, there were the questions like, how many bow ties do you own? And he's like, oh, I own over 2,000. And we're like, oh, wow, this is crazy. But, like, there was one person who got up and asked him a question like, what would you say to parents who are raising their children to not believe in evolution?
Oh yeah, he's really big on this.
And he was just
he's really come out recently.
Oh my God, dude.
Like,
he was
God,
just
it's not real.
He was like, I would tell them not to reproduce because that kind of thinking is very harmful to a child who doesn't have the type of cognitive ability to reflect on their world and understand, like, this is just one viewpoint. And, like, he just went off on this whole thing. And essentially it was just a big, like, if you think God's real, boy, are you an idiot. I got science on my side,
he's really, like... He's really like militant about that.
Yeah, it's crazy how because it seemed to come out of nowhere.
Yeah,
it's so strange. And the other thing too was
I'm talking like I know him. Like Bill. Yeah. That guy hates God.
Bill. Oh God. Well, when he was showing me how to tie a bow tie the other day. Well, the weird thing was too. I've heard this theory before that celebrities once they become famous, they stop taking into account pop culture because they become a part of it. Like, I've heard, like, Kevin Smith talk about in his podcast and stuff like that, where, like, Bruce Willis, he worked on a movie with Bruce Willis, and the dude didn't have any pop culture reference that wasn't from, like, 1980. Like, all of his references were like, is that Yoda? Like, as though it was still a current thing.
Because like, it's just his life?
Once he becomes a part of the news, why would he look at it anymore? Because it's like reading lies about yourself, essentially. Or just reading things about yourself that you've done.
Yeah.
Bill Nye kind of, like, fed into that. Because his whole thing, he kept dropping, like, current references. He said Nirvana quite a few times. Which, okay, he's from Seattle, or the dude lives in Seattle. Maybe... I don't know. I'm not from Seattle. Maybe Nirvana's still a big deal there. The other reference they dropped, though, was Brandy. You remember Brandy? Like, she was, Brandy. She was
The
like
Joe Dirt girl?
no.
That's the only Brandy I know.
No. Brandy. She was on like she was on a TV show on like the WB.
Brandy.
Yeah. She was a celebrity way back in the 90s or like early 2000s. She was a celebrity.
I don't know, dude.
Brandy. Let me look her up and see. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Brandy, the official website. Her.
No idea who that is.
You don't know?
I have
She
no
was
idea
in
who
a
that is.
she was in a show.
Okay.
She was in a show.
That doesn't.
Oh, she's in Temptation. No, she was in a show when we were younger.
All right, nothing you show me is going to make me recognize
What
her.
about if I showed you Brandy the beverage? Okay.
Yeah.
Brandy Norwood. What was her show? She was in I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. But she was in a show on like the WB. Moesha. She was in Brandy and Moesha.
Why do you think?
that?
No, I have no idea what that is.
What? Why don't you
I have
remember this?
never heard of Brandy and Moesha in my life. It was on for 2 years, and when it started, I was 3 years old. Why would I know what that is?
Why don't you know these things? She contributed to the soundtrack for Batman Forever. Why don't you know this?
Did she
Mitch?
die in a plane crash?
No, that was Alea.
I don't know who this is. I'm sorry.
Look, here's Alea right here. I'll pull her up. That was Alea.
I remember Leia.
But
How old is she?
She
22.
was
That's sad.
22.
Oh, man.
Wow. That's our age. But
Tragic.
also, she accomplished way more than we ever will.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah. You know, that kind of stuff annoys me. Because I love the Beatles. I always, like, compare myself to the Beatles, but I really shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Because nobody should compare themselves to the Beatles.
I
Because
guess.
nobody will ever be at that
I would have
point.
loved to reach the peak of my career by now, and I hope I haven't. But
Ah, dude, I can't believe you don't remember. But he dropped a reference to her.
all right.
Okay, and if he would have dropped this reference
So
to you,
much work for.
you just would have looked at him like,
Yeah.
who is that? Because she was relevant in 1994 to 1996. But that's what I'm saying, you know? Like, his pop culture just dropped off after a certain point. Like, you think it's because he got old or what?
It might be because he's old. I don't know. I feel like my dad doesn't know a lot of current.
You know,
pop
and
culture
he
stuff.
looked old, too. Like, he looked like he had like, he still looked good, but, like, he definitely, like, his face, it looked like he definitely, yeah.
Yeah, he's real sunken in.
Yeah. He looks kind of bird-like now.
Like a heroin addict.
Yeah, and he used a laser pointer a lot. Like, I in college, I thought everyone would use a laser pointer. He was the first person I've ever seen use a laser pointer in college. You know, because, like, when we were in high school, that seemed like the college thing to do.
I mean,
I don't know.
we just used to blind each other, so across the room.
Did you, do you follow any scientists? Like, do you follow, like, Carl Sagan or, well...
Carl Sagan's
I was
dead.
going to say,
Do you follow Carl Sagan?
Did you follow him?
He died in 1997. How was I supposed to follow him?
Well,
I know a lot about
Look,
Carl Sagan, so I guess the answer is yes.
I fucking follow Brandy when she was relevant when I was 2 years old. That's the thing that I don't... Okay, you know what? This is a weird thing about me. Early on in my life, I did not go out and hang out with friends. I would stay in the house and I would watch... Yeah, I know it's surprising. I would stay in the house and I would just absorb anything that was on TV, and then when the internet came, in a big way, I absorbed everything that was on there. That's why I know all this pop culture stuff. And it's weird to me that everybody didn't have a childhood like that, where it's like, you don't know this thing from the 80s?
It took me a long time to realize that actors were were in more than just one movie, that bands made more than just one song.
Okay.
Because I would see a movie where there's an actor, and that's the only time I'd ever see him. So I was like, oh, they just made that movie. I would hear like a song by Smash Mouth, and be like, oh, that's the song that Smash Mouth did. I remember because someone told me, oh, this is. It was like a Smash Mouth song I heard, and it was like a different one, and they're just like, oh yeah, this is the same band that makes the other song. And I was young, I was just like, I had no idea that they could do that. Like, I thought they only made the one. Like, I didn't understand that they made more than just one song. So it took me a while just because that's all I've ever exposed to. Why are you looking up Smash Mouth tickets?
I wanted to tell you, there is a huge tour that's coming through Columbus. You won't be around for it, but I want to tell you because I'm going to go. It's Smash Mouth, Sugar Ray, my dream,
tour, right?
Gin Blossoms, Vertical Horizon, Fastball.
Oh my god.
Isn't this like the greatest
This is
tour
an
of all time?
amazing lineup.
I'm going to see it. Like, I'm going to see it.
I wish I could.
July 26th.
Look up for the DC area.
Oh, yeah. I'll search that. Oh, you know what? I probably could have got it if I was there.
Smash Mouth, Sugar Ray, Gin Blossoms.
Gin Blossoms. Yeah.
All these bands I know 3 songs to.
Yeah, no, that's it though. That's all you need. But while I'm looking for this, like Neil deGrasse Tyson, you know, if you're not following a dead scientist, you know, like Neil deGrasse Tyson or anything like that, do you follow any of them? I know that science is something you're more interested than I am.
Current scientists? I always get so... Here's the thing. I really like science and that stuff.
Yeah.
It's just I'm so stupid, and I'm stupid enough to know I'm stupid, so, like, I'll hear science, and I can't... I wish I understood it, but I'm too dumb to, because I don't understand those words. I don't understand the concepts. I never took chemistry. Like, these are concepts I want to deal with, but I'm just too dumb to deal with. So, I don't really follow scientists, I guess, because it makes me sad. But,
That's
I mean, I keep up with scientific
sad to
trends and discoveries and whatnot, but I don't follow particular scientists.
It's also sad because they're not coming to DC.
Anywhere around there, Virginia?
Yeah, they're coming to Virginia. I pulled up a few of those days. Oh, you know,
Maryland, anywhere? Philadelphia's not far.
I'll show you.
I'm gonna go to this by myself.
Oh shit, maybe it was back one.
I don't know.
Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh?
That's farther than Philadelphia. Whatever. I'll look it up on my own. I'm not gonna go.
No. Let's take time out of the podcast. I just saw it. I just pulled up a bunch of those days.
It's fine. It's fine.
No, Mitch, you're going. Okay,
I'm
you're gonna go alone
by myself.
Here, Philadelphia.
I just said that.
Okay, well, I found it for you.
All right.
Jeez.
Okay. Guess I'm gonna go see Smash Mouth in Philadelphia.
And Gin Blossoms and Fastball.
My best friend from
and
kindergarten
Sugar Ray.
would love this. I bet he's going.
I hope.
And I almost came in contact with him very recently.
Can you pause this? I gotta take this dog out.
Sure.
All right.
Annoyed.
Come on.
All right. So is your dog sufficiently empty?
Yeah, when we went outside, he saw a rabbit, and my dog is smaller than the rabbit, but he still thought, you know what? I'm gonna protect this household.
Fascinating.
The other day too, about my dog.
Yeah.
I was standing there by the dishwasher, and the dog was over there, and all of a sudden, he just threw up so much. Like, he's a small dog. He probably threw up maybe like half of his weight in vomit, and it was so disgusting. It almost looked as though he pooped out of his mouth, but like he did everything.
Why did he do that?
I don't know. He didn't tell me. I said, Ringo, why did you do this?
Well, is your dog sick?
He was sick for like a day. Okay, I'm standing there and I just hear like, and I'm like, what the hell? And I turn and I look over and he's just like, oh, and he like turns and makes eye contact with me, bless you, while he's doing it. Like he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm just like, oh no. And of course he did it on the carpet. Like he couldn't do it on the hardwood floor where it's easy to wipe up. So he does it on the carpet and I walk over there. First thing it hits you is the smell.
Ugh.
Dog poop is very distinct. This was like the most concentrated version of dog poop. Because it almost was like he took his poop and just did it out his mouth.
Well, maybe
and
he was like eating his own shit.
I don't think so. He doesn't really do that. But boy, was it horrible, Mitch. It was horrible. And then this little dog was so sick afterwards. He was eating and he was drinking, but he wouldn't like poop, and then he would just shake. Like he was just shaking, and when I would go to pick him up, he would whimper. He'd be like, as though I was hurting him when I picked him up or something. It was scary. I thought I was going to have to take him to the vet. But he's fine.
Wow.
He's fine now.
You know, when he shakes his ears occasionally in the podcast, it just sounds like one of us start masturbating. He's just like...
Oh, I know. I picked that up the other day because it's so like...
Yeah.
Like he does something like that.
It's
so loud. Off. Yeah. Well, it's when you say something really cool that he does it. Oh, it sounds like there's a
bird in here.
Yeah, like coming in through my garage or something.
Yeah, it sounds like it's like right inside you.
That's so weird. Anyway,
doesn't matter what we were talking about. So I saw The Great Gatsby last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fucking awful.
Yeah.
It could have been good. I have no idea. I couldn't pay attention through the soundtrack.
Soundtrack did it?
Who the
I
fuck?
told you.
Who the fuck made that decision? Who was like, yeah, this will be a good idea? It honestly seems like someone was making a music video that was vaguely Gatsby themed, and it was just like, you know what? We can do a whole movie like this, and just like everything else was an afterthought.
Did you catch the Crazy in Love 1920?
Yeah, I did. I was waiting for it the whole time too. I was like, when's it gonna come? When's it gonna come?
Like when I heard that, I was just like,
dude, just the normal music took me out of it. And like, there's a scene randomly where there's a bunch of black people in a car with like rap music coming out of it and like bottles of champagne.
Yeah.
And it's like a 3-second scene that goes away. It's like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
It was such a bad movie.
Yeah.
And you're right about Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
I hate when they make Leonardo DiCaprio talk in an accent that's not his, and they keep fucking doing it in every movie, and he's so bad at it. Why do they make him do that?
I didn't think he was horrible. I thought he was fine.
I liked him. I hated his voice.
I thought his voice was okay.
No,
I thought he was
awful.
okay in not Inglourious. Django Unchained.
I didn't see it.
Well, he talks in an accent in that.
I didn't see it.
I'm just telling you.
Blood Diamond is the movie that I'm referring
Blood
to.
Diamond was like fucking when Brandy was still relevant. That movie came out forever ago, dude.
Just saying. I do remember liking the end though.
Of Great Gatsby?
Yeah. I do remember liking like the last
Where he gets
minute
shot
and a half.
and then
no, it's after.
Oh,
he
after
shot,
he gets
the
shot.
Closing.
Oh, spoilers.
And again, I wasn't a huge fan of the book to begin with. So.
Yeah. Well, everyone reads that book. Yeah, the cinematography though, that was the worst part for me. I hated how quick and choppy everything was.
No, the worst part for me is definitely the soundtrack. Definitely the soundtrack.
The soundtrack was distracting, but I didn't think it was that bad. You know, I'm really upset that I never made the time to go see Jurassic Park in 3D. Did you? You didn't see it either?
I was doing stuff. I forget what.
Yeah, I was just living.
It's supposed to be back in theaters in summer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'll definitely make time to see it then. Yeah, I would walk past that movie poster every time I was at work, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go see it soon, and I never did.
Yep.
And now that it's gone, I'm like, I hate myself so much because I did that.
Me too.
Oh, like the one movie
Ooh,
I actually want to see.
Man. Oh, God, yes. Okay.
Yeah?
I'm in an intro to film class. Our first assignment was to list your 3 favorite films.
Okay.
And I did mine. And I was looking through everybody else's, and I realized I judge people so much about their first.
Let me judge you. What are your 3?
You tell me, and I'll tell you.
Well, you sprung this on me. I don't have something prepared right now. Go.
Well, I don't want to influence your decision.
Oh, okay.
It's really hard to think of right now.
Okay. Let me think here. Let me think. Okay, my top 3.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. Just movies that I like the most and I can watch anytime. Yes. Natural Born Killers, Avengers, Dark Knight.
Okay. I thought you were going to have anything overlapping.
I would do, but if I had to pick like a different 3, like you were like, don't pick those 3, I would do like Terminator 2, Judgment Day, Jurassic Park, and Jaws.
Okay. I was thinking Terminator 2. I didn't end up putting it on. I chose Jurassic Park, Shawshank Redemption, and Fight Club. Were my top 3 favorite movies.
Jurassic Park, Shawshank, and Fight Club. Interesting.
Yeah.
Let me think about what that says about you. See, now I feel like all I'm thinking about is all the movies that I like, and I'm like, I should have said this one instead. Like, I should have said Glengarry Glen Ross. But Shawshank, Fight Club, and Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I would look through some of these, and like their favorite movies are like, like Fast Five, Big Daddy, and fucking Joe Dirt, like.
Hey, Joe Dirt is a fantastic.
I do like Joe Dirt, but it's just like, dude, really, like, come on.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the thing is, there's so many movies out there, and it seems like but someone could say the same thing about us, like, oh, you've wasted like your picks. But I feel like if you're going like Grown Ups, Paul Blart Mall Cop, it's just like, dude, come on. There's so much more out there. I
just judge like I would judge someone's intelligence by what the movies they were. And I noticed that the people who had the most misspellings and grammatical errors were those type of movies too. Not that I think that says anything about someone's intelligence, because I don't. I hate when people go.
Sure.
If you're ever in an argument online and you have to correct someone's grammar as your next response, you lost that fucking argument because you have nothing else to say to them except for their formalities. Stop being an asshole, you stupid piece of shit. But at the same time, when you're turning in an assignment, and in 3 sentences, and you're misspelling every word, and your favorite movie is Paul Blart Mall Cop, I do tend to judge people like that.
I would do that a lot, actually. I was in an intro to film class, but we were too big to do individual sort of things like that. And I would do that same sort of thing, though, judge people based on their interests when I did the dating websites. Because that was a quick way to be like, we're not going to get along. Like, my favorite book's Twilight. My favorite movie's Twilight. I love vampires, And I was just always like, you'd just scroll through and be like, or, equally, I would be like, oh, I don't know any of these movies because they're, like, weird or something like that.
Right.
Boom. I'm not going to talk to you either. I totally do that. I'm trying to think though. Shawshank, Jurassic Park, and
is there like some Fight Club? Is there some like deep meaning there?
There could be.
I think it's just movies I like.
Yeah. Well, but then you look at mine, and it's like maybe.
Speaking
you
of Great Gatsby and Shawshank Redemption, 2 books I've read, 2 movies I've seen, and they're both told from a first-person perspective about somebody else.
Somebody else, yeah.
Shawshank, obviously, about Andy Dufresne, and Great Gatsby about Gatsby. And it's told from the point of view of Red in Shawshank and the point of view of Nick in Gatsby. And Red is so much more interesting than Nick.
Yeah.
Red might be more interesting than Andy Dufresne.
Yeah.
Red is a really interesting character.
Yeah.
And Nick sucks. I just noticed that watching. I was just like, this is like Shawshank Redemption a little bit.
Yeah.
Only Red's great and Nick's awful. So
I don't know, man. And that movie did well too. I don't think it topped Iron Man 3 though for the weekend.
Which makes me feel good. We were in there, we were the youngest people in there. A bunch of old people in there.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw it in College Town, so it was all young kids.
Yeah.
Who were like bored.
Fucks.
Who were like bored. No, most of them were like bored. The people who were in front of us were like talking through the whole thing, and then they cheered when Gatsby got shot, and then they literally got up and left. Like that was what they were waiting for the whole movie or something.
Yeah,
just like cheered.
The
and got
people
up and
with
left.
me. This is how. Oh shit. This is to tell you how stupid the people I went with were.
Okay.
They had never heard of The Great Gatsby. Never read the book. Didn't know shit about it. Saw the previews and thought it was like a Project X movie. Like it was just a big party movie. And that's why they wanted to go see it. And when they texted me, hey, we're going to Gatsby at 6:30, I was just like, really? Like, okay. So I went. But, yeah.
Are they younger?
No, they're fucking older. One of them's 23.
Oh, man. Boy, we come from a solid generation, I guess. Wow, like a Project X movie.
They thought it was like, I thought it was a big party movie. Like, I was just like, fuck, what?
Guess.
This
Wow,
kid, I talk about this kid
bored.
a lot. I just don't use his name because it's just one of those friends I have that I don't like.
Sure.
And that's why, because of stupid shit like that. Dude's 23. He's just like, we could sneak liquor into the movie theater. It's like, yeah, or we could go literally anywhere and drink it legally because we're allowed to do that now, you stupid fuck. God damn it.
What was his reaction through the movie?
He was really bored.
Yeah, I was going to say, he must have been like, duh.
Yeah, he was like looking at me and I was just like...
Hey, man. You thought this was Project X 2 or something.
I didn't know that until afterwards. I was like, yeah, why'd you guys want to go see that? And they're like, and then that's when they told me.
Jeez. Oh.
You want to know, this is something I meant to mention.
Yeah?
I cut my hair today, you may have noticed. I fucked it up so bad.
I didn't notice.
See that it's really shorter here?
Okay.
Thought this was a 3-blade. It was a 1.
Okay, I can see.
And so I went like, I was like, oh, god damn it. So I just did it to the other side and said, fuck it, you know? And then I cut everything else a little bit shorter. Does it work? Okay, great. Yeah. I did cut it too short, though, because I usually do the swoopy thing now. It's too short to do that.
It looks kind of like when we first started filming videos. Like, it's still, like, real spiky up top. Yeah.
Yeah. I like it a little bit longer just because I've been doing that thing lately. Just adding flair. Yeah. But you can only do that at a certain length. That's why I had to cut it. Like, there's a real, like, only, like, 2 or 3 weeks where it actually works. Yeah. It sucks.
The other day, I went to Applebee's, and 2 of my friends were, let's just say they were out of sorts. And as they were sitting there throughout the whole thing or whatever, you know, we were having a good time. The waitress comes by, drops off the check, and she says to us, like, okay, you guys drive safe. And then she walks off. Now, they immediately took it as like, oh my god, like, you think she knows about us? Like, well, oh my god, what's gonna happen? Like, they start, like, kind of, or they, and, like, then they interpret it as, like, a dig at them. Like, they thought it was, like, an insult or something. Like, where did she get off? And I was like, I'm pretty sure that all she meant it was, like, hey, drive safe. Like, I'm sure she says that to everybody. You know, like, you get into a certain routine when you're at a job or something like that. Yeah. Say the same thing to everybody. But they immediately interpreted as that thing would not, and maybe it's because they were out of sorts, but they would not stop talking about it. And then they wouldn't stop telling people that we saw. Like, you won't believe what this waitress just said to us when we were
I hate when people do that, when they take everything so offensive.
Yeah. I was like, hey, man, you're...
My brother did something really bad recently. Yeah. I've got a female friend that he knows as well. And she is his sister. And apparently my brother saw her, not her sister, her, at the mall with somebody, another girl, and realized, oh, that's not her sister. So he went up, he's like, oh, hey, what's up? And then looked at this girl who was clearly her age, who goes, hey, is this your mom? He didn't know why he said it. It was just like he knew it wasn't her sister, so that's the only thing he could think of. And the girl got so horribly offended. She's like, we're the same age. And started yelling at him. And he just walked away. And I hung out with the girl a few days ago. And she was just like, yeah, that ruined her entire week. Like, she was so upset about that for the rest of the week.
Wow.
It just made me laugh.
Jeez. I haven't really had any big moments like that, like hate myself later moments recently. I'm glad. I'm due for one, I'm sure.
Oh, I feel like I have.
But I haven't.
I honked and waved at a group of people that I thought I knew and didn't pretty recently.
You know what? Immediately after I just said what I just said, I've done two things within like the past few days that I've done that.
Yeah.
I was sitting at a light. Someone was driving into where I had just come out of, and I knew that this person was coming, and it wasn't my friend, but they had the same car. Oh. And I thought, oh, it's them. And I just start waving. And it's like this 50-year-old woman who like looks at me and she's just like, hi. I'm like wearing my cowboy hat at the time. She's just like looking at me like, hi. She waved back or whatever. But I sat there because then my light didn't change yet. I was just sitting there like, I hate myself so much. And then today I was getting Chipotle. And I was just really groggy. And it was still early on. And the girl's like, okay, white rice or brown rice? And I was like, black beans. And she was like, what? And then I just like tried to roll with it, like that's what I meant to say. I was like, black beans, chicken, the fajita, and brown rice. And she was like, so brown rice. I was like, yeah, brown rice. You know, you just like, you're thinking about something else. You're like, she just goes, brown rice or white rice? Black beans. And I said it like I was blurting it out, like, black beans. So that's what I'm dealing with today. That's why if they find me like jumped off a bridge, you know, that's what it was.
At the bottom of a river.
Black beans, because I said black beans at Chipotle when she asked me what kind of rice I wanted. And then like once that happens, you just want to like run, like you just want to be like, never mind, I'm sorry, and just like walk out the front door.
I have to deposit a check, and I've been putting it off so long because I hate every interaction I ever have with a bank teller. Yeah, it's the worst.
Deposit or checking? Black beans. You just pick up the check and walk out again.
Oh, it's fucking funny.
So we're gonna be putting these up on YouTube now, right?
I guess. Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they'll be up on YouTube. And I had the idea for our podcast to also read like short stories and stuff that we do. Mm-hmm. I like narrate them and then put them up in the podcast. But I decided, you know what, it's gonna be really boring if you read one of your short stories or I read one of my short stories for the other person, because we'll just be sitting here for like 10 minutes while someone reads.
Yeah.
So let's not do that. Let's put it up as something separate if you want to. You don't have to.
We could.
But
I thought you were gonna say we should read each other's loud.
Oh, that would make me feel weird. I don't know why. Nah, I guess it wouldn't make me feel weird.
I would rather have you read mine than me read mine.
Well, read yours. Well, all right. We'll figure that out later. But as of right now, I already have one up.
Do you?
I already made the channel.
How long is it?
It turned out to be 8 minutes and 55 seconds.
Right.
And this is it's not that long of a story. It was like, I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, so
that's something I think animations would be cool for.
Oh, I know. I wish I could.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I could draw little pictures, but that'd be really time consuming too. I drew a picture specifically for the short story, so maybe that's good enough. But yeah, so we're kind of going to make a return to YouTube in a way. People, still use YouTube.
Yeah.
And they still want to follow us, I guess, via YouTube. It'll just be a purely
fictional way.
It'll just be in a audible way instead of a visual way.
I was working on this thing. I don't know. It's like prose poetry. I've been going on a lot of nature walks. In Toledo, I was. Mm-hmm. There's a big Metro Parks area. It was really cool, really intricate.
Yeah.
And I was walking through it one day, and I just started taking pictures of stuff with my phone. Mm-hmm. And as I was taking pictures, I started writing a poem in my head. Okay. And every picture I take, I would add more stuff to it. So now I haven't all written it down, but I'm working on this prose poetry thing.
Yeah.
Based off these pictures.
Okay.
So if I'm gonna read it, I might put the pictures
I
as
love
I'm.
that. I love that idea.
Because I was just gonna do it on Tumblr, where I was gonna post the picture, whatever.
No,
for some
don't
reason,
do that.
For some reason, I can't get it off my phone. Like
the pictures.
Yeah. I go to send them. Yeah. I go to send them, and it says the size is too big, and I can't email it. I can't send it to my email. And I don't know if I'd be able to transfer on this phone.
Maybe you could find a plug or something that goes into it.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh man, that'd be great. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. I've been trying to. I was gonna do it with Tumblr, but if we're gonna do this, I might as well just do it with that.
Totally. Yeah. Do it that way. So there's lots of things coming your way as far as content is concerned. You're gonna have the podcast. You're gonna have us reading stories or our prose poetry. Of course, there's always our Tumblrs and whatnot.
I do have one short story I could read too on the reserve. It's not really much of a story. It's more of like a scene, but I have nowhere else to put it other than
people just like to hear you talk, so just put it up.
Yeah, I guess.
All right. Well, let's close with a poem. The last 3 we did, we forgot. We forgot to do it this time too, so I just grabbed my poetry book, and this is by Lord Alfred Tennyson, and this is called The Kraken. I picked it because it sounded intriguing. Below the thunders of the upper deep, far, far beneath in the abysmal sea, his ancient, dreamless, uninvaded sleep, the Kraken sleepeth. Faintest sunlights flee about his shadowy sides. Above him swell huge sponges of millennial growth and height, and far away into the sickly light, from many a wondrous grot and secret cell, unnumbered and enormous polypi. Polypi? Polypi, I think. Polypi. Winnow with giant fins, the slumbering green, there hath he lain for ages and will lie, battening upon huge sea worms in his sleep, until the latter fire shall heat the deep. Then, once by men and angels to be seen, in roaring he shall rise, and on the surface die. All right.
See, that's why I want you to read mine.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I didn't read mine like that. I read it pretty like, but I did voices and stuff. If you're gonna do one with voices, you should do it with like, "Hey, I'm Mitch," or something like that.
I don't know how.
Hey, voices. I'm Adam. I'm Mitch. Well, mine was just like I just altered the pitch of my voice. And one I did a voice like this because it fit the character, not because I just want to talk like that.
Yeah.
That's what I do it when we're not recording. Is I talk like that. All right. Anything else you want to add?
Nope.
All right. Well, hey, we got 4 done. That's pretty good.
Yep.
All right. Well, we'll see you next time.
Bye.